So apologies to those of you that were expecting a video yesterday. You now get a video today if there's any, positive side to today. I got really busy yesterday, and as a direct result, I figured, we'll make a video on my one day off this week. You guys probably aren't going to get a Friday video, as sad as that makes me to say, but they scheduled me all weekend, and that's a bag of dicks, but that's how it goes sometimes. So hope my other videos will suffice. But today I got a UU match for you against a guy by the name of Pudge2014. I decided to bring some things, and then just some new things I had salved in like the 50 to 60 things I had salved that weren't standard. I made a lot of UUs, made a lot of RUs, made a lot of NUs, a lot of things here and there, and decided to toss a few of them on this team. So it's not really like any team I've ever used ever, but I think you get the line of thinking that I'm going with. But looking at his team, I decide that he's probably going to end up leading off with Ammo Pump, so I let off with Blastoise, it being my most physically defensive thing. It's able to take a fake out and a U-turn pretty nicely, and I decide at that point, I'm just going to start firing off Scalds to see what he's going to do about it. He goes into Azumarill, just to resist the hit, which is, a good line of thinking, water resisting water, yeah. But the reason people use Scald, just on any bulky water over anything else, the chance to get the burn, which happens right there. So it's 30%. I really don't even feel that bad. That's a pretty generous amount. But I know that he's not going to go for the water move on a Blastoise, especially after being burned, so I go into my Nidoqueen, who's either going to take the superpower, whatever the fuck he wants to do, fairly well if he wants to go for some weird-ass unprotected focus punch. As you can see, I do end up taking his burn hit pretty damn good, and it's going to give me the free opportunity to look like I'm going to set up the entry hazards, but I do see that it has a Xatu on his team, so I'm actually going to go ahead and double switch out into my Honchkrow, and I'm going to try to pursue, because a Xatu doesn't really want to be in on a Honchkrow anyway, and I very easily could have Sucker Punch right there if I was just like a regular old not Choice Scarf build of Honchkrow, but I am a Choice Scarf build, and it's because of that my Pursuit does regular stock damage before he's able to U-turn, because I think if you Pursuit on something that's going for the U-turn first, you might catch it on the switch. I think that's how it works. It's probably not, and I'm just talking out my ass, but I revealed to him that I'm Scarfed, so I need to play around with that a little more carefully. But I'm going to go ahead and, he turns out into Gligar. Now, he has a free turn to set up the hazards, but I do still have my Spinner alive, so I want to keep it alive as long as this Gligar's around. But go for Scald. As you can see, does run half, don't get the burn, don't really care, kind of want to Toxic this thing. Actually, I don't think I can Toxic this thing. I thought I was mono-attacking with Scald and Toxic and, what was it? Scald, Ice Beam, Toxic, Rapid Spin. I somehow do. What was my moveset? I don't remember my moveset. I know I have Rapid Spin, Scald, and Ice Beam, and I forgot what my fourth move was. But I guess I'm just going for the Scald, expecting him to make a switch. I don't want to reveal that I have Ice Beam just yet, just because I want to keep this thing at a good amount of HP. And if possible, end up using Ice Beam against Gligar and both Flygon. Blastoise being a pretty good switch in, as long as he can get a safe switch in on Flygon. So kind of predict to switch out to Azumarill to end up taking the Scald and then just going from there. So I decided to switch out into Shaman, and then I'm just going to go for a Seed Flare. He decides to leave it in his death fodder. I'm sure at that point everyone in the stream knew that it was Spec Shaman. I'm pretty sure a couple people had even gone as far as to say, oh, this is his Spec Shaman. God damn it, guys, way to ruin it. But now that he more than likely knows I'm going to end up being locked into Seed Flare, I'm always scared of Scarf Victini anyway. Whenever Victini switches in on Shaman, there's not much that you can do about it just based on raw, typing and just moves and that kind of thing. So I'm going to switch into my Arcanine, and he decides to go for an Energy Ball, which is something I've never really seen on a Victini before, but I can see why you'd want to run it over Thunder just in case you feel shaky on that 77% accuracy. But go for Crunch, because I do have it on this guy, and he's going to switch into Gligar. I can't really do anything as long as this Gligar's around. But he goes for Toxic. I'm suspecting that this thing has Stealth Rock, Toxic, Roost, and Earthquake more than likely. Now, the fact that I think he has only one offensive move might come into play later within a certain line of thinking, because there's a Plan A, which actually is what ends up happening, or rather a Route A, which is what ends up happening, and then a Route B, which is what could have happened, which I'll explain it. But he ends up switching out because he doesn't want to take like an HP Ice or a Spec Seed Flare. and Pump dies. That doesn't need a whole hell of a lot of explaining right there. But in comes Victini. He's doing a pretty good job of bluffing that it's choice, and he does end up catching my Nidoqueen on the switch, because I was kind of expecting Energy Ball or a V-Create or something like that. I was not expecting Psychic Stab, especially on the physical side. My Nidoqueen is physically defensive, and it just ends up dying. So I'm like, okay, this thing is going to switch out because it's locked in on Psychic, so I'm gonna go for the Pursuit. And wouldn't you fucking know it, I don't get my Pursuits right, like, ever, and that pisses me off. Because I'll get them right every now and then, and it's so rewarding when you get it, but I didn't. Fortunately, he misses his Fire Blast, though, and this is where things really start to, you know, make a fork in the road. Because now that I am alive, I actually can use that to my advantage against Gligar, just because I'm definitely thinking that that thing only has one offensive move. And I believe somewhere along the way, he's going to reveal another move of his that ends up missing as well. But for now, going to go for the Crunch, you know, just because reasons and whatnot. I've had a good amount of HP. It doesn't look like he's Life Orb or Choice or anything like that, so I'm pretty sure I can take any one of his hits just fine and just end up going for a Crunch from there. But what happens here? So switch out into Blastoise as he decides to go for the Stealth Rocks again. I believe I took the opportunity to spin him away at some point in the game, but I don't want them up because I do have a Honchkrow and I do have an Arcanine, and that's just going to be a pain in the ass if they're around. So he decides to go for Roost, and I believe I go for the Ice Beam right here, and I decide, you know what, I need to take this thing out. I don't care how long I have to, you know, keep it hidden. And I get the Freeze here, which is pretty fucking unfortunate, considering that he hasn't really gotten a whole hell of a lot of hacks on his portion, you know, and beneficial hacks to him. All he's really gotten so far, I believe, is a Fire Blast miss and then this Freeze, which in themselves really suck. But it's because of that fact that he's not able to Roost up. I don't really know why he stayed in, truthfully. I would have found a different opportunity to try to Thaw versus something that has a ×4 super effective move on you. And I don't really feel bad about that, to be honest, because he definitely could have switched out to Victini and threatened me out with an Energy Ball. I don't know why he didn't make that play. It was definitely the way safer play as opposed to just sitting in there and waiting to Thaw. But here is the move that I was talking about. He reveals that he has Focus Blast, and he actually ends up missing it. Now, I don't know whether or not that would have killed me, truthfully, just because I don't know his nature, and I'm assuming he's got an Expert Belt or something, because Psychic, that's a stab Psychic, and that doesn't even kill me, so I can only really begin to wonder how much Focus Blast would have done if it actually hit. Even less, and then I would have gone for the E-Speed from there, probably would have just locked myself in a Night Slash with Honchkrow, and then just taken the game straight from there. So this hacks, as unfortunate as it really seems, when it all adds up, it really does add up a hell of a lot in my favor. But I do have a secondary answer, just given everything else in mind. But he's going to go for the Outrage right here with this Flygon, I suppose, just not to over-predict or anything like that. If he went for Earthquake and did turn out to be Choice, I definitely could have gone into Honchkrow, locked myself in on a move, and then just gone from there. Because I've had that Honchkrow do really good things before. I think I probably uploaded that game in the past. But I switch into Shaman because I'm thinking, alright, if he's Choice Scarf, I can probably take an Outrage thanks to Natural Bolt. And he gets his first and I believe last bit of, you know, beneficial hacks to him, and that he ends up getting a critical hit on there. And now I'm scared because that one little bit matters, because if my Blastoise can't take this hit, I'm fucked. I am like absolutely 100% beyond fucked. I have no priority left on my team, and if he doesn't hit himself in Confusion, you know, after the Outrages with Honchkrow, then I am screwed. But I actually managed to end up living the Outrage, which kind of surprises me, even after toxic damage. But he's going to hit himself here. If he didn't, don't know what it would have done, especially if he got like the first turn snap out of Confusion or whatever. But he takes himself out, and then all of a sudden I'm back on good ground, because I didn't realize how big of a threat that thing was to me until I started looking at my team, and I was like, fuck, nothing really wants to take this. But he does go into Xatu, which happens to be his last one. And I believe I end up misclicking here because he goes for Roost. Not that it would have mattered too much anyway. I mean, the best thing that probably could have happened is I could have gone for a Torrent boosted Scald, and, you know, that would have done X amount of damage. Probably not even close to half, just because I don't have any spec defense investment or anything like that. But go for Toxic, ends up bouncing back. I will kill myself off. Thank you very much, sir. But the fact remains that I do still have a Machamp. I'm pretty sure I can take a hit from this thing, even if it does happen to be a, you know, a Psychic. I'm pretty sure that's like the most powerful move he can fire off on me. And, you know, even like a Life Orb Azelf has trouble taking out a Machamp in one hit. So even at full HP, I think I'm good to go for the rest of the game. So I'm just going to go for a Stone Edge because I'm a no-guard set, and that's going to be the game. So a little bit of a, I guess, kind of a regular length one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice one for today. If you did, you're welcome to leave a like rating, comment, subscribe, do your thing. I noticed videos in my sub boxes were talking about how YouTube was acting up on the day that I uploaded my Cypher, so I actually think a decent amount of you may have missed that, so I will leave a link to that in the description as well. I have done a lot of LP episodes in advance, so I don't have to worry about those. That's why I got that out of the way. I have them out of the way for like the next 2 weeks actually. But we got that. And then we have things. Unfortunately, no video tomorrow, but I am considering streaming tonight, just get some more videos going on. And that's going to do it for today, and I will see you guys later.